In preparation to work 3Y0 Zulu for a new one for me, basically in my instance, I've just gone through my shack and my antenna system to make sure that everything was working properly, functioning properly. And you know, there's still enough time out there for those of you that may want to do some type of upgrade to, you know, to set up some equipment, maybe a new antenna. You know, if you've got something indoors, maybe move something outdoors to give yourself a little better chance at it. But just make sure you bone up on kind of the courtesies and the different formats that you might want to go about to working a new one. And you know, everybody's going to have an opportunity to work this station in Bouvet for a new one. So just, you know, study up if you can and figure out, stick with us and you'll see how to work a pile up for a new one. My station home to hopefully work HAL down there in Bouvet consists of an ICOM 7600 radio, and I've got a small amplifier that'll be running into a 3-element stepper beam. It's up about 65 feet or so. I've got other antennas I use, but that's the one that I've been tuning up over the last few months to make sure that I'm ready to go when the time comes. So I'm looking forward to the first few days when 3Y0 Zulu gets on the air. And it's an exciting time. You kind of have to get your mind into the game. It's going to be possible for everyone to work this very extremely rare new country. But there is some preparation involved, and you're going to have to get your mind into the game, so to speak. So first and foremost, what you really want to do is listen. Listening is really the key to the whole thing. What you're trying to do is, you don't want to say that you're outwitting the team, but you want to see if you can, if not stay a step ahead of them, at least keep pace with them. And one way that you do that, again, is by listening. So follow up the band or the instructions of the team members that you're listening to at that particular time, on that particular frequency, and listen for any types of patterns. You know, maybe he's listening up 10, and you notice that every time he says he's listening up 10, that he starts off 11 up from where he's transmitting. Or maybe he moves up and down the frequency, or maybe he'll move somebody and move, after he works somebody rather, moves up the band a half a kc each time. Once you listen and find something like that out, that gives you the ammunition to beat everybody to that next point that he's going to, so that you know, whether you're a big gun or a small pistol, you can get that one in your belt. So what we're going to do here is kind of take a look at what it's actually like to work a DXpedition that's working split, for example. And what split would mean is basically the 3Y0 Zulu station may be transmitting on 14.195. But in order to hear more stations and more of the pile-up and all the different people calling him, instead of listening on that same frequency, the 14.195, Hal or one of the other members of the team will probably be listening up. And again, the key to find out what's going on there, as we said earlier, is by listening to the operator, listening to the DX station, and he'll tell you. He'll say that, that I'm working 5 up, for example. So when that happens, we're going to go into split mode, and what that means is that we're going to be transmitting rather on where this VFO is. All right. So for everybody you know that's new to this, what's happening here is that the DXpedition is actually transmitting on 14.195, but he's listening for the stations calling him on 14.200. In this instance, it may be something similar to listening from 200 to 210. So that's going to give you this whole bandwidth up here to be calling back to him. But it's going to be you and me and you know, a million other people. So any little trick that you can get in there to try to find out you know, the fastest way to work that new one is a good thing. One of the tricks is to listen when the DXpedition team member is working a station back here stateside, for example. one of the tricks would be to listen up to the range that the DXpedition is listening to. Try to find the person or the actual station that he's working at that time, and at that point you know exactly where he's listening to. That gives you a good starting point of where to call. Might give you a jump in on the action ahead of the next guy, so that you can get him. A lot of other things you can try are maybe if you hear that the DXpedition just worked a station on 2.06, for example, go up maybe 1 to .207 and give the DXpedition station a call there. Okay, so again, there's there's different tricks of the trade that after you're doing this for a while you can try. If you're new to trying busting pileups, or if you're what they call a little pistol, maybe not a lot of power or a huge antenna, as opposed to going to where you know that the DXpedition station is listening at that particular time, you might opt to scan through the range that he's listening in, for example 200 to 210, for the clearest spot. So if you're a weak station, that might behoove you to do that, to try to find a clear frequency so you're not fighting all the big guns at the same time on the exact same frequency.